Manchester United vs Burnley, confirmed team news, injury latest and predicted lineup. Mason Mount is available for Manchester United against Burnley on Saturday, but injury problems at the back remain. United welcome Vincent Kompany's side to Old Trafford following their midweek victory over Sheffield United. United have been without all but one of their centre-halves, with Lisandro Martinez, Raphael Varane, Victor Lindelof, Jonny and Willy Kambwala all missing the club's last 2 games. It has left Erik Ten Hag with little choice to drop Casemiro back to partner Harry Maguire at centre-half, with 18-year-old Louis Jackson their only available option on the bench. Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw have resumed outdoor training, with Ten Hag confident they will have some role to play before the end of the season, along with Anthony Martial. But Mount is their only returning player for the visit of the Clarets. Marcus Rashford also missed the 4-2 win over the Blades after picking up a knock in extra time against Coventry. He will also miss Saturday's game, with Ten Hag expecting to be working with the same squad he did on Wednesday night. Antony replaced Rashford in the starting 11, much to the frustration of United fans desperate to see Amad Diallo handed an opportunity. The Brazilian was replaced by Diallo 10 minutes into the second half on Wednesday after failing to impress against the side sat bottom of the Premier League. Diallo is still waiting for his first starting appearance under Ten Hag and will hopeful of it coming this weekend. According to Genting Casinos, United have a 66% chance of beating Burnley this weekend, with the Clarets given a 15.5% chance of causing an upset. Predicted Man United 11 vs Burnley: Onana, Dalot, Casemiro, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Mainu, McTominay, Garnacho, Fernandes, Diallo, Hojlund. Doesn't deserve to keep his place. 3 ways Man United could line up vs Burnley with Star axed. Man United play Burnley in the Premier League on Saturday, and here's how our writers think they should line up. Manchester United will welcome Burnley to Old Trafford in the Premier League on Saturday afternoon. United claimed a much-needed victory against Sheffield United on Wednesday, winning 4-2 after goals from Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Hojlund. Fernandes scored a brace and played through an injury to his hand that he sustained last weekend, delivering a captain's performance when United needed him most. Remarkably, the midfielder has still never missed a club game through injury in his career and is set to be one of the first names on the team sheet against Burnley. Regarding the team news, Mason Mount will return to the squad after a brief spell on the sidelines. Pick the team. Samuel Luckhurst. Christian Eriksen and Antony do not deserve to start after their tepid performances in midweek. Antony should not have started that game in the first instance. Scott McTominay would be a logical recall after his rest against Sheffield United, and Amad is overdue what would be a first meaningful start for United. He has been training for nearly 5 months, and whenever he has come on this season, United have either been drawing or losing. Tyrone Marshall. Mount is the only injured player set to return to the squad today, and I would only include him on the bench, but that doesn't mean there won't be changes. The defense stays the same out of necessity, and the decision to switch Diogo Dalot to left back and have him play more centrally in midfield when in possession worked well on Wednesday. United should dominate the ball again so that can be repeated. There should be a change in midfield. Eriksen did fine on Wednesday without ever really dominating the game, and McTominay replacing him suggests he should be fit enough to return to the starting 11 here. Alejandro Garnacho and Hojlund have to start in attack, but Antony doesn't deserve to keep his place after his performance in midweek. Amad has been pushing for a start and should finally begin a game for United for the first time since December 2021. Stephen Railston. The defensive options continue to be limited, which means Casemiro playing at centre-back again. There's a choice to make between McTominay, who returned to the squad in midweek, and Eriksen, but I'd probably lean toward the latter after his indifferent display on Wednesday. Amad should have started against Sheffield United and didn't. Antony failed to take his chance, and the Ivory Coast international should replace him in the lineup. Team news. Manchester United are hopeful of welcoming back Mason Mount, who has missed their last 2 games. Marcus Rashford and Willy Kambwala are unlikely to be fit, while defenders Raphael Varane, Luke Shaw, Jonny, Tyrell Malaysia, Victor Lindelof, Lisandro Martinez remain out. Burnley will have Lyle Foster available after recovering from a knock sustained last weekend. Luka Kolisho is not yet ready to return from a knee injury. Match facts. Head-to-head. Manchester United's only defeat in the past 16 Premier League meetings was by 2-0 at Old Trafford in January 2020. United have scored exactly 3 goals in all 4 of their home victories against Burnley. Manchester United. Manchester United have lost only one of their past 7 home league games, win 4, draw 2, 2-1 defeat by Fulham in February. The Red Devils have conceded 76 goals in all competitions this season, their most in any campaign for 45 years. Bruno Fernandes has 7 goals in his past 6 league appearances, scoring in each of his last 4. Rasmus Højlund's midweek strike against Sheffield United ended a run of 6 games without a goal in all competitions. Burnley. Burnley's only defeat in 7 league matches was 1-0 at Everton at the start of April, win 2, draw 4. The Clarets are aiming to win back-to-back Premier League away games for the first time since May 2021. Vincent Kompany's side are without a clean sheet in their past 16 league outings. They have conceded 69 Premier League goals this season, their second most behind only 2009-10 when they let in 82. Jacob Brun-Larsen has scored in 4 of Burnley's 5 league wins this campaign. Manchester United handed Dan Ashworth update as Newcastle sporting director takes action. Newcastle United sporting director Dan Ashworth has been on gardening leave since February after declaring his interest to join Man United. Newcastle United sporting director Dan Ashworth is reportedly set to take his employer to arbitration to push through a move to Manchester United. Ashworth has been on gardening leave since February after he informed the North East club that he wished to join Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos at Old Trafford. Now, The Athletic reports that Ashworth has moved to try and help facilitate his switch to United. The decision to go to an arbitrator could work either for or against Ashworth. The process of arbitration sees both sides put their case forward to an independent adjudicator who will decide who is in the right and who is in the wrong. Crucially, this avoids both parties being drawn into an expensive court battle. It is understood Newcastle want United to pay £20 million to release Ashworth out of his contract early. However, Ratcliffe is reluctant to pay that price. When asked about Ashworth in February, Ratcliffe was complimentary of the former Brighton and Hove Albion director. "I think Dan Ashworth is clearly one of the top sporting directors in the world, I've no doubt. He's a very capable person. He's interested in the Manchester United job because it's probably the biggest sporting director job in the world just now, with the biggest challenge. We've obviously had words with Newcastle. They would clearly be disappointed to lose Dan. But what I do think is completely absurd is suggesting a man who is really good at his job sits in his garden for 1.5 years. That's completely stupid. Once Ashworth does join United, he will take up a role similar to that which he held at St James Park. He shall be aided by Sir Dave Brailsford, Omar Barada, and Jason Wilcox. Dan Ashworth to take Newcastle to arbitration over protracted Manchester United move. Dan Ashworth appears to have grown tired of the protracted negotiations between Newcastle and Manchester United over his move to Old Trafford and is set to take his old club to arbitration. The highly regarded 53-year-old, who has previously held roles with the Football Association and Brighton, informed Newcastle of his intention to leave St James Park earlier this year. Newcastle announced in February that Ashworth had been placed on gardening leave, though negotiations between the clubs over a